You may be thinking that you're too old to start riding if you're over the age of 50, whether this is your first bike or it's been 20 plus years since you've ridden in your youth, because you're more likely to get hurt. But is that really the question that you should be asking? Well, it does take longer to recover from riding, even if you don't get injured. What if I told you there are some simple reasons why old guys are more likely to get hurt while riding a dirt bike, and how to easily prevent them? First, if you have people around you, people that don't ride, that are telling you that you shouldn't ride because you're too old, it might just be that they can't and are jealous. I know a lot of guys that still ride in their 60s and 70s and even in their 80s. And while it does take longer to learn new things when you're older, if you just take it step by step and learn the simple ways to build your confidence quicker while reducing the risk of injury, you're a lot more likely to have fun and not regret not giving dirt biking a try. So the first big old guy mistake is starting on the wrong bike or getting back into riding on the wrong bike. I see a lot of guys think that they need a 250, 300, or 450 enduro bike when they just get started. And even if you're over 200 pounds, you do not need this much power when riding off-road. Maybe you're used to the 500cc enduro bikes back in the 70s. Well, the modern bikes have way more power than they used to per cc. I've seen quite a few used dirt bikes for sale that have this in the description. So it's a Honda CRF 450, 1-year-old, low hours, too much power for me, so that's why they're selling it. So they probably bought the bike thinking, oh, it's only 450cc. I rode that back in the day. But when they get on it, especially when they go to a trail, they realize, whoa, this has way more power. Just one flick of the throttle and you could ride right into the tree. So either they got scared or their wife found out how powerful the bike was and they're like, you need to sell it. So I don't want you to make that mistake. Start out on a smaller, less powerful bike so that you can build up your confidence quicker while reducing the risk of injury. So if you already have a bike and are wondering, do I have too much bike? Well, a common sign that you have too much bike is if you've given it too much gas and it accelerated more than you thought and you ran into a tree or went off course. If that happens almost every time you go out riding, then you have too much bike. And if you really like this bike, but you want to stay safe, well, you can either keep it and downgrade or sell it, downgrade, and then once you build up your confidence, then you can go back and buy it again once you have the skills to stay in control. So don't think that just because you buy a bike, you have to keep it for the rest of your life. There's always going to be more bikes out there. So the big mistake number 2, why old guys are more likely to crash and get hurt, is because they're getting too excited and riding out of their comfort zone. For example, maybe you want to go ride with the younger crowd, but you know that in order to keep up with them, you're going to have to ride out of your comfort zone. You're going to start to get out of control. Your wheels are going to start washing out. Your bike gets sideways, and you're more likely to go off the course and into a tree. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, of course you're more likely to get hurt because you're riding out of your comfort zone. So what do? Well, if you're too tempted to ride out of your comfort zone, then just make the hard decision and don't ride with those younger, faster riders. But if you can, you'll just have to let them go ahead of you and hopefully they'll wait for you at the next intersection. If not, yeah, just find some more riding buddies. And then another example is riding a trail that's too technical for your skill level. So maybe you're still at a beginner or novice level and you're trying to ride an intermediate or expert level trail. Well, if you're falling more than 2 times or you're getting exhausted within 10 minutes on a trail, then that's a common sign that you're on a trail that's too difficult for you. Now maybe you had the strength and endurance when you were younger to be able to handle that all day, but if you're older, it's going to take a lot more out of you and it's going to take a lot longer to recover. So stick to a trail that's within your comfort zone, within your skill level, and you'll be able to ride longer and have more fun without crashing. So enough with the negative stuff, and what about the benefits of riding? Well, when you ride a dirt bike, it's going to keep you younger because you're staying in shape. Riding a dirt bike is most definitely exercise. You might hear people that don't ride say, oh, you just sit there and twist the throttle. That's not exercise. Well, I challenge them to go out and ride a dirt bike and try it on a single track trail. You'll quickly realize that you're using pretty much every muscle in your body. Another huge benefit of dirt biking is it allows you to bond with your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, or just make new friends. Because when you're riding with someone, it's just more enjoyable to get that same experience, maybe see some awesome sights, and then afterwards you can bench race. You can talk about your near crashes or your awesome wheelies on the trail. This is why it's so fun to go to a trail ride and meet some more people, or just ride with your family and friends. So if you're an older rider and you're ready to start riding, or you already started and want to become a better rider, I encourage you to check out my next video on what to do if you're older and want to get better while reducing the risk of injury. I'm Kelly Fager from Motocross Hideout. Learn more, ride more.